The Conjuring universe is vast, with movies like The Conjuring, Annabelle, and The Nun all residing inside of its world. As we know, the universe has some of the most terrifying demonic entities imaginable, with Valak being the big baddie of the entire franchise. But there are always more. These are the top 5 Scary Conjuring Universe Demons Part 2. Let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, the television. One of the many demonic entities hailing from Annabelle Comes Home, this one is short-lived, but definitely packed a punch, that's for sure. Now, Annabelle Comes Home sees Ed and Lorraine Warren heading out on yet another paranormal case, with them leaving their daughter Judy with her babysitter and a friend. However, things go awry when the friend Daniela unleashes Annabelle in the home, who in turn wakes up the demonic forces inside of the Warren Occult Museum. When Daniela gets trapped inside of the museum, she encounters some of the most terrifying entities, including a demonic television. It's a brief scene with Daniela looking into the TV and seeing herself on screen, which is already creepy enough, but then the TV starts to show her images of items moving around the museum, before showing her own demise. It's a very quick but creepy moment that is thankfully thwarted when Judy comes in to halt the television's sinister plans, whatever they may have been. Before we jump into number 4, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, it really helps out a lot. Coming in at number 4, we have Bill Wilkins.
Bill who?
My name is Bill Wilkins.
One of 2 characters from The Conjuring 2 on our list, Bill Wilkins is a terrifying man who spooked the Hodgson family. Now, I am very well aware that he isn't technically a demon, but he was being controlled by a demon, so let me have this, otherwise this list doesn't exist. The Conjuring 2 saw the return of Ed and Lorraine Warren, with them heading across the seas to the UK to visit the Hodgsons, a family who are tormented by a demon, with one of their daughters even being possessed by a former resident, resulting in some very frightening moments. Now, Bill Wilkins is the former resident who possesses Janet. He was a 72-year-old man who died after he went blind and had a hemorrhage. Bleak. He was incredibly possessive of his home and died in his chair. That seems to be the source of some of the hauntings. Bill seems to have a strong hatred towards the Hodgson family simply because they live in his former home. He's very vengeful, angry, and taunts the family, particularly Janet. However, it is later revealed in a recording that Bill was simply being used by Valak the Demon as a way to torment Ed and Lorraine Warren. Despite this fact, he is still a truly terrifying character throughout the movie, an imposing figure that you won't forget quickly. Coming in at number 3, we have the Samurai. Now, very little is known about the samurai armor that appeared in Annabelle Comes Home. However, despite that fact, it is still incredibly unsettling. Released in 2019, Annabelle Comes Home once again follows the Warren family, but more specifically their daughter Judy and her babysitter, who are left alone in the home while Ed and Lorraine investigate a case. Of course, things quickly go south, with Annabelle being set free from her casing and demonic activity is unleashed around the home. Now, at one point in the movie, a friend Daniela heads inside of the Warren Occult Museum to try and find a way to contact her late father who had just passed. While inside, she touches various items, unlocking Annabelle's case in the process. With the demon being set loose, the energy brings the samurai and other spirits to life, with them tormenting the home. In one moment, the helmet of the armor spins all the way around, startling Daniela with her frozen in place inside of the museum. Now, it is said that the samurai was an unnamed warrior in Japan who supposedly attacked and killed many innocent people, including families, without any kind of remorse. The Warrens came into possession of the armor, blessed it, and sealed it away in their occult museum. Coming in at number 2, Black Shuck. The Black Shuck is a famous demon from mythology and a terrifying presence in Annabelle Comes Home, which we'll be discussing once again. What else can I say about it? Also considered to be a werewolf and a hellhound, the Black Shuck is a demonic beast that kills humans and animals alike. Now, like I said earlier, when Annabelle gets released from her case, all of the demonic forces inside of the Warren Occult Museum are woken up, including the Black Shuck, with it lurking the yard and attacking anyone who tries to flee the home. When Judy goes outside to retrieve an inhaler, the Black Shuck attacks the car, smashing the windows and clawing the roof, with the onslaught only ceasing when Annabelle is returned to her casing. Now, the Black Shuck was originally investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren after a string of livestock deaths throughout England, with the couple tying it to the hellhound. They were able to bind the Black Shuck and contain it inside of a book, with the book being blessed and placed inside of their museum. That was until Annabelle set it free for a period of time, allowing it to wreak havoc around the Warren home and terrifying everyone in the process, including us. And finally, in at number 1 we have the Crooked Man, aka Valak. Now, I am slightly cheating with this number. Well, to be honest, I've kind of sort of cheated with this entire list. I know the Crooked Man is another form of Valak, but I'm going to ignore that fact right now and view him as his own individual entity, otherwise this part 2 wouldn't be able to exist. The Crooked Man appears in The Conjuring 2, a movie we discussed in our previous list, but I'll do a slight recap for those who missed it. As we know, Ed and Lorraine Warren head to the UK to tackle a new paranormal case involving a family who is tormented by a demon, and a young girl who is seemingly possessed by a former resident of the home. We know by the end of the movie that the evil demon Valak is responsible for a lot of mayhem, with her influencing Bill Wilkins, who we discussed earlier, and of course appearing in one of her most horrifying forms as the Crooked Man, a character most people seem to remember the most about this movie. The Crooked Man is a gangly creature in a purple suit and is of course based on the nursery rhyme of the same name. I quote, "There was a crooked man who walked a crooked mile. He found a crooked sixpence against a crooked stile. He bought a crooked cat which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together in a crooked little house." I mean, the rhyme alone is absolutely haunting, so the physical embodiment of it was always bound to be terrifying. The Crooked Man initially disguises itself as a barking dog to terrify the son Billy. However, he soon unfurls its limbs and transforms into a hideous purple suit wearing creature. Now, a spin-off movie called The Crooked Man has been in talks since The Conjuring 2 came out. Whether we'll still get it, who knows? Probs not. We can't have nice things. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? Who is your favorite Conjuring Universe villain? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos, Top 5 Dumbest Horror Movie Sequels Part 5. Don Pandemoniac said, "Lucy, have your encounters with horror movies and hosting this channel ever inspired you to write a horror story or script of your own?" Whew. Yes and no. Surprisingly, as much as I love horror movies, I love horror stories, I don't particularly like writing horror, so while I can think of creepy stories in my mind, I don't really want to put them on paper. I have been writing things, but nothing that you'd be interested in, because it's like sappy and it's like love and so. Brian Moshe said, "Almost at 1 million, love the content, keep up the great work." Yes, we're almost there. I think we're 50,000 away? 55,000 away? Yeah, 50,000 away I think. And then we're at 1 mil, hell yeah. Celebrate, party. The Bright Side said, "This series is just basically Lucy being savage, but I love it." Facts. What was the series? Dumbest horror movies. True. I mean, there's not much I can say about them other than they're dumb and shit. So it is me being savage and on movies that deserve it. Rodney Kelly said, "I had successfully forgotten right at your door and you made me remember the damn thing. I'm so sorry. We must be the only people in the world who watch that movie, because anytime I bring it up, no one knows what the hell I'm talking about. It's almost like a fever dream. Like the movie didn't even happen, but I know it did, because I remember the pain while watching it. And then I remember the joy on my face as I left the movie theater midway through. Utter shit." Lost Cause said, "Awesome video, Dark Queen. Now over to Top 10 Central Dark. Hope you're doing okay, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, Lucy. You're smart. Everyone should watch me on Top 5 and then watch me on Central Dark. Watch me all the time." Cordial_Psycho said, "Who else would want to be in Lucy's horror movie?" I mean, I don't think it'd be a fun time for anyone. Maybe me. I think I'd be the killer, obvs. And then you'd all die. There'd be no final girl, just me. The final Lucy. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bleak. He was incredibly possessive. Fucking hell. Don Pandemoniac said, Lucy, have your encounters with horror movies and hosting this channel ever inspired you to write a... I can't, it's like my brain's gone now. It just shut off. I can't read. Lucy, have your encounters with horror movies and hosting this channel ever inspired you to write a horror story or script of your own? Whew. Watch me all the time. Watch me in the shower, watch me... Cut that. Just watch me. Enjoy me. I love watching me. Sometimes I don't know. Actually, no. Stop talking. You're embarrassing.